Republic Act Number 10054, reported by Bonifacio, Darwin C. BS-CRIMINOLOgy 3-1. What is RA number 10054? It is an act mandating all motorcycle riders to wear standard protective motorcycle helmets while driving and providing penalties therefor. Section 1, or the short title. This act shall be known as the Motorcycle Helmet Act of 2009. Section 2, the Declaration of Policy. It is hereby declared the policy of the state to secure and safeguard its citizenry, particularly the operators or drivers of motorcycles and their passengers, from the ruinous and extremely injurious effects of fatal or life-threatening accidents and crashes. Towards this end, it shall pursue a more proactive and preventive approach to secure the safety of motorists, their passengers, and pedestrians at all times through the mandatory enforcement of the use of standard protective motorcycle helmet. Section 3, the mandatory use of motorcycle helmet. All motorcycle riders, including drivers and back riders, shall at all times wear standard protective motorcycle helmets while driving, whether long or short drives, in any type of road and highway. Standard protective motorcycle helmets are appropriate types of helmets for motorcycle riders that comply with the specifications issued by the DTI or the Department of Trade and Industry. The Department of Trade and Industry, or the DTI, shall be the one who will issue guidelines which should include the specifications regarding standard protective motorcycle helmets. Section 4, the exemptions. Drivers of tricycles shall be exempted from complying with the mandatory wearing of motorcycle helmets as provided in this act. Nakasaad dito na exempted daw ang mga ating mga tricycle drivers sa pag-comply ng pagsusuot ng motorcycle helmets. Section 5, the provision of motorcycle helmets. A new motorcycle helmet which bears the Philippine Standard Mark or Import Commodity Clearance, or the ICC of the Bureau of Product Standards, or BPS, and complies with the standard set by the BPS shall be made available by every seller and or dealer every time a new motorcycle unit is purchased, and which is purchaser may buy at this option. Failure to comply with the requirements provided under this section shall constitute a violation of this act. Ito yung mark ng ating Philippine Standard, or the PS, and the ICC, or the Import Commodity Clearance Mark. Section 6, the implementation. The DOTC, or the Department of Transportation and Communication, and the LTO, or the Land Transportation Office, are the agencies that will issue guidelines necessary to implement the provision of this act. The DTI, through the BPS, is mandated to utilize the United Nations Economic Commission for Europe protocols with regard to the standards that will be applicable to the approval or disapproval of motorcycle helmets that will be sold in the Philippines. The DTI, through the BPS, shall conduct a mandatory testing of all manufactured and imported motorcycle helmets in the Philippines. Bago pumasok yung mga motorcycle helmets na imported sa Pilipinas, ay nagkakandak sila ng mandatory testing para sigurado at safe ang ating mga motorcycle helmets. All manufacturers and importers of standard protective motorcycle helmets are required to secure a PS license or ICC prior to the sale and distribution of their products. The BPS shall issue periodically a list of motorcycle helmet manufacturers and importers and the brands which pass the standards of the BPS to be published in a newspaper of general circulation or in its website. Upon the effectivity of this act, only those standard protective motorcycle helmets bearing the PS or ICC mark shall be sold in the market. So dapat ang mga motorcycle helmet nating bibilihin ay dapat nating siguraduhin na may PS or ICC mark siya. Section 7. Penalties. Any person caught not wearing the standard protective motorcycle helmet in violation of this act shall be punished with the followings. For the first time offense, 1,500 pesos, 3,000 pesos for the second offense, 5,000 pesos for the third offense, and 10,000 pesos plus confiscation of the driver's license for the fourth and succeeding offenses. Any seller or dealer who violates Section 5 or the provision of motorcycle helmets of this act shall be punished with a fine of not less than 10,000 pesos but not more than 20,000 pesos. Any person who uses, sells, and distributes substandard motorcycle helmets or yung mga peke or those which do not bear the PS mark or the ICC certificate shall be punished with a fine of not less than 3,000 pesos for the first offense and 5,000 pesos for the second offense without prejudice to other penalties imposed in Republic Act No. 7394 or the Consumer Act of the Philippines. Tampering, alteration, forgery, and imitation of the PS mark and the ICC certificates in the helmets shall be punished in a fine of not less than 10,000 pesos, but not more than 20 pesos without prejudice to other penalties imposed in Republic Act No. 7394 or the Consumer Act of the Philippines. Section 8. Nationwide Public Information Campaign. The Land Transportation Office or the LTO, in coordination with the Philippine Information Agency or the PIA, the Department of Education or the DepEd, and private agencies and organizations, shall undertake a nationwide information, education, and communication or the IEC campaign for a period of 6 months for the attainment of the objectives of this act. Section 9. The Severability Clause. If any provision or part hereof is held invalid or unconstitutional, the remainder of this act or the provisions not otherwise affected shall remain valid and subsisting. Section 10. Repealing Clause. All laws, decrees, orders, rules, and regulations or parts thereof inconsistent with this act are hereby repealed or modified accordingly. Section 11. Effectivity Clause. This act shall be taken effect 15 days after its publication in at least 2 newspapers of general circulation.